Introducing a series of special podcasts for Saint-Gobain Career Day. Join Valentina, Amy, Julie, Anika and Lisa as they discuss their experiences and challenges as women in senior roles. In this episode, the group discuss why taking initiative is so important to help develop your own career and how having the confidence to form their own paths has helped them get to where they are today.
Oh, good morning. I'm today joined by Julie and Lisa. Welcome.
Morning.
Morning. We're going to discuss today a topic which is, I think we've discussed several times within our group. It's about taking initiative. So all of us on the table have high profile senior roles in the organization. And if I look back at my career, I think there was this one role or one opportunity that I took, which was pivotal in shaping my career. And what was it for you guys?
I think for me, it was slightly different than you, Anika, because I had different role within the organization, but each role brought me something different each time. So I don't think there was a pivotal role that really helped me with my career growth. I felt it was a combination of moving from one role to another that really helped me to grow my skills and to take initiatives as well.
Yeah, and I think for me, it was actually one of my earlier roles, and the business was really in a challenging place. We were struggling with staff. And I think one of the things then was I saw there was an issue and I have a need to solve problems. So I think I just stepped up and started taking some of the initiative to resolve some of the challenges. And then people started asking me things. And I think from that, I got confidence in myself. And I think that was something I needed. I needed to feel that I was confident enough to take that next step up. So that when it became offered to me, then it was an easy step to make because I'd already almost transitioned to it beforehand. So I think, it's about kind of just having the opportunity and going for it.
Yeah. But what makes you step into that space, right? Because you have an option there to step back and say, maybe somebody else will do it, but you chose to step into it, or you chose to take in the new challenge, the next challenge where you acquired several skills. What made you accept those challenges or those new roles?
It was people for me. I hate to see people struggling. It's if there's tasks that need to be done and people are looking for somebody to help them and support them, I have a natural need, I think, to be that person that fills that gap. And I think that's what it was. I could see people that there was a lot of disorganisation. There was a lot of people that were feeling stressed and pressured in the situation. And it wasn't good for anybody. So for me, it was about reaching out and trying to take some of that pressure off them and putting some structure around it. And it was an easy decision to make. As I say, it's a natural style that I have.
I think for me, it was stepping out of my comfort zone because I know once I do that, I will be learning from the experience. It can be a bit daunting at the beginning, but once you start to do that, then you learn new skills, you meet new people, and this is a way really to grow and elevate yourself as well and get new competencies. But it's not always an easy step to do. It's a lot easier to say than just to do, but I think it's very important as well, getting out of your comfort zone.
I think I agree with you guys because what you said about stepping out of your comfort zone is what I have learned as well. When you step out of it, that's where the challenge comes and that's where you grow. But how do you face that? How do you face into that discomfort, that challenge? How do you face into it? Or would you advise somebody who would be facing into that or is scared to make that step?
I would say believe in yourself. I think it is very interesting because quite often we tend to look at something, a new challenge or a new role, for example, and we think, well, maybe I don't have the full competency or maybe I'm 80% there, but that's why I can't go for it. I would disagree with that. The reason you're looking at that means you're ready for it. So for me, it's about, make sure you believe in yourself. You're very capable person and you just need that bit of confidence just to step out of your comfort zone to grow as well in your role.
And I think it is that believing in yourself. I mean, if you look around, I spent far too much time looking at other people and thinking I need to be like them and I don't feel like them. So I can't do that next job up because, it may be looking at male role models that were in senior positions and people had more confidence. Or I perceived people to have more confidence. I think that's a key thing there. Yes, yeah. And you have to just think about what what is it you bring? And be comfortable with the way you want to approach something or do something. And I think when you do that, you almost build that confidence because you start to see results coming from that as well. But we do spend far too much time, I think, looking at other people and thinking they have all the answers and it's all perfect and we're the ones that aren't good enough for that next step up.
And I think sometimes you need a bit of support around you, with your colleagues or through a network to say, oh, no, you're capable, you can do that. You just need that slight confidence to help you to go for the change.
What you're sharing are such valuable insights, because when I look back at my career, I think if I would have known when I was, taking on the new challenging roles, that I'm actually building a muscle. And I think that's what you have shared as well, is you're building a muscle to take that step, to take that, step out of your comfort zone, which is very uncomfortable and challenging. And you have those doubts going on in your head, but take that step and you build a muscle the more often you do it, I think. And that makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will give you a little bit of an anecdote, with my career. A few years ago, I applied for a role and I wasn't successful. And one of the reasons I wasn't successful is because I was missing some management skills and experience, and I found that I was a bit sad at the time, but I found that it was really good to have that constructive feedback. So after a few months, I was in a role, and after a few months, there was an opportunity in a different departments, and I came to see my manager at the time to say, well, listen, I would like to move on because it will really help me to grow. And at the time, my manager said, absolutely not, you're not moving, because if you're moving, then I'm going to lose you and I've got nowhere to replace you. So I was a bit disappointed, but I thought, okay, let me pause here. Let me see what is it missing. And then what I decided is to come with a solution. So I approached my previous manager at the time to say, right, I would like to move on to a different role. I would like to know if there is someone in your team that could replace my current role. So it helped me to grow, helped me to move on, but at the same time, it will help that person to move on to a different role and also grow their skills. My previous manager was really for it. He said, yeah, absolutely fine. I'm happy to support. It was easy for him at the time to recruit as well. He said, yes, go for it. So I approached again my manager and I said, right, I want to move on. I'm taking the initiative. This is for my own benefit. It's for my growth. I will like to move on. And this is my replacement. And he looked at me and he said, we can't say no to you, can we? And I said, we can. But on this occasion, it's important. It's about taking that initiative where sometimes, things, you have to push for the opportunity to come as well. Sometimes there are opportunities, but sometimes you have to take that initiative to push for that opportunity. And I was really blessed because I had 3 managers involved in the process and all 3 were very, very positive about it and very supportive through that time as well.
But the great thing there is, look at what you did. I mean, you helped coach your manager and find a solution to the problem that they had. You took another person and enabled them to step into a position. I mean, it's just a great kind of, for me, a story of kind of win-win. I do think that maybe kind of the initial feedback you received probably wasn't the right way that we should have done things, but you taking that initiative and taking ownership of that problem.
And I think everyone is capable of taking initiative. It needs to be done in a controlled manner, obviously, but everyone is capable of doing it. Yeah. It's a bit having, as we said earlier on, that confidence to do it.
Yeah. And actually, when you do, good things come from it. It's not that scary thing that we're all afraid of.
But you learn from that as well. And it's an experience, and then you grow from that too. So it's very interesting.
It's a muscle that you train.
Absolutely.
And the more you do it, the more often, even you are faced with those challenges, you accept the uncertainty, the challenges, and you move on and you grow from that. So we talked a bit about managers, and what would be one advice that you would give to managers who have team members who are willing to progress and wanting to grow, but feel like they don't yet are fully, having all the skill sets that are required, or, lacking confidence in what they can do?
I think there's a couple of things. I think as a manager of people, we should absolutely treat everyone as individuals, and we all have different needs, different skills, different desires for the future, different ways of actually progressing through an organisation. So work with that individual to help them get the training and support that they need to move into those next roles, whether that be an opportunity to work alongside someone else in another business, whether it be a training course that somebody goes on, or whether it just be taking extra responsibility and giving them a bit of experience in that. But I think the great thing today is there is a network, especially in the female kind of cadre employees, of people who can help and support, who have been through these very similar journeys and can help instill the confidence that way. I think support networks are good as well.
Absolutely, and I fully echo what Lisa said. And I think it is really important. Sometimes we tend to look our own area only or our own business, but Saint-Gobain is huge. There are so many different opportunities as well available within the group, not just automatically the business unit we are in. So I think it's, sometimes just be open-minded about what is available and how we can support people to grow in their role or their future roles.
And look what we get out of just the conversations.
Absolutely.
We're in different businesses, different roles, but it still brings something to us in today to help us, even when we're looking at kind of new ideas, new initiatives that we're trying to take on board.
I really believe as well, when we talk about taking initiative, is for me, it's a key indicator of leadership. Not everyone is a manager or a leader, but if you start to show that you can take initiative, that's for me a key indicator that you can be in a leadership role as well.
And that's what I think I was saying about that first opportunity I had, that because I actually took some initiative and started to see results, the confidence and the belief, and I saw what it did from the business perspective as well. And I think that's what I needed to give the confidence to myself that I could do it.
What would you say to somebody who sort of, just took on a new role and is feeling, because the first discussion that you guys had, the very first discussion was, I'm new to the role and I took this opportunity to build that network, to connect with the people. How do you support someone who has stepped into a role but now doesn't feel like they can, they don't feel confident, they don't feel that they can grow in this role, or they're not taking the initiative?
And I think sometimes that's where mentoring comes in. I think if you can connect with somebody that is maybe outside of your immediate circle, so you feel a bit more free and trusting to have the conversations you might want to have, and it's somebody who's been through that before. I find mentoring to be like a really great kind of way to navigate some of the challenges, and I do feel confident to have that conversation in a trusting environment, because I'm not interacting with this person on a day-to-day basis. It's not my manager.
That's right.
And I think it makes a difference.
Did you guys have mentors in your careers?
I never had mentors in my careers, but Lisa, you did.
Yeah, I have it.
You were mentoring somebody also, right?
Yes, I've done both. And I do that for quite a few females actually in the organisation today, and I hear what they're saying, and sometimes I think, some of the things I went through are still there, and some of them have moved forward a long way. And actually, a lot of the women today, there's a lot more confidence in the way that they approach things, and they are taking the initiative, and it's great to see. And I think I'm proud to see that the things are evolving in that way.
What about you, Anika? Have you had any?
I actually didn't realize I had a mentor, because I didn't realize what mentorship was at that point. So it was my first managerial role. I was a line manager, and I was managing about 150 people, and it was my first managerial. So it was a big jump for me. And I was to say, you can't cuss, but I can. But I was really struggling, because I was thinking, oh my God, I was too much in my head, basically. And she was in a very higher role in the organization, but she recruited me. So we had a very good sort of rapport, and so she would take me, to the side. Sometimes we would have lunch together, and she would say, okay, so what is going on right now? Because she had been in my role 10 years ago. So I was looking up to a woman coming from production and operational environment. So, and she, in her way herself, like sort of helped me, unpack some of the challenges that I was facing, instead of going in a complete sort of state, how do I manage this right now situation. And that was my experience with mentorship, because you can take a step away. It's not your line manager, or it's not your sort of, your peer. It's somebody who's really out of the business, still understands the context, and can give you a bit of. That was very helpful. That was really helpful, and I realized it maybe a few years ago that what she was doing is she was mentoring me in understanding, how do I come across a challenge, and how do I sort of, address those things. So it was very valuable, and I try to do that in the sense that I try to help young women in when you see that they are, or when they come to me and I want to have a discussion around it. I think it's a very good way to share your support, but also to build confidence, like you say, it's that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And there are women and there are people who have gone through those challenges, and you are not alone in this.
And saying some of those things that are in your head out loud. I mean, there's a big mental health, mindfulness, all of this. There's a big thing about not just replaying the messages of the negative messages that you hold on to in your mind, but actually saying things out loud. And things aren't as bad as you think they are, aren't as scary as you think they are. And especially with somebody else that's been through that, and they can give you advice and share their experiences.
Absolutely.
I really also think women in general tend to share more their feelings.
Yeah.
So I think it's sometimes a lot easier as well for us and for managers to understand how they feel during certain situations, and if they need a bit of a boost or confidence or conversation as well, or support. So I think it's good to see that. It's good to be open. Sometimes we think if I share too much, I don't really want because I will show my weakness. Actually, no, we are all human beings, and we are at work, but we also want to make sure you feel supported at work.
Yeah. And we want them to succeed.
Absolutely.
We want everybody to succeed.
Absolutely. Being vulnerable is not at all a weakness. I think in anything, it's showing that you're balanced. You're a human being. You're not a robot who's coming to work just to work and then just fall off. So no, I agree. So thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you very much, Julie, for joining this discussion today. It was really valuable to hear your insights, your experience, and hopefully we can help other women with your experience as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.